بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. موضوع اليوم سوف يكون مشيئة الله تعالى عن الكلام المباشر والكلام غير المباشر، معنى كيف تحول الجملة من كلام مباشر إلى كلام غير مباشر. أي إذا شخص ما تكلم عن موضوع ما وتريد أن تنقل هذا الكلام أو هذا التقرير أو هذا الخطاب إلى شخص آخر فيما بعد، فمن هنا هناك قواعد وأسس اللغة الإنجليزية يجب أن نتعلمها. هي بسيطة جدا، بإذن الله في هذا الفيديو سوف نتعرف على الكثير منها، وهي الأساس في الموضوع. إذن هنا معنا why do we use reworded speech? As we said, sometimes someone says something or a sentence. For example, I'm going to the university today. Okay, now the first person is saying I'm going to the university today. When anybody else asks you about the speech of that person who said to you, I'm going to the university today, you will report the speech to that person. And here we can say, he says he is going to the university. إذن في البداية قال أنا ذاهب إلى المدرسة أو إلى الجامعة اليوم. عندما أقول أنا معناته هو الشخص أو المتكلم الأول. فعندما نتكلم عن ما تحدث به هذا المتكلم إلى أشخاص آخرين أو فيما بعد ننقل تقرير عن ننقل خطابه إلى الآخرين، كيف سنحول؟ هو قال I لأنه بيتكلم عن نفسه، لكن عندما ننقل عنه ماذا سوف نقول؟ هو، إذا كان رجل وإذا كانت امرأة هي. إذن هنا كان المتكلم رجل، فقلنا في الجملة الذي هي في الكلام المنقول أو المقرر أو الكلام الغير المباشر قلنا هو. إيش؟ إذن هنا تطبق قاعدة البريزنت سمبل، لأن المقرر الأول وضعها في الزمن المضارع البسيط. He says. Okay. Then the sentence as it is, he is going to the university. هو ذاهب إلى الجامعة اليوم. هنا لأن القاعدة تقول إذا كان المتكلم في أو رافع التقرير أو ناقل الخطاب يتكلم أو يعرف بالجملة في زمن الحاضر أو المضارع، فتبقى الجملة على ما هي بنفس الزمن الذي تكلم بها المتكلم الأول. بمعنى in English, he said the first speaker, he said, I'm going to the university today. So here he is talking in the present continuous. Okay. And then the reported or the introducing verb is in the present simple. We can add, he says. Then when we report it to the indirect speech to tell others what he has said, we can say, he says. We take he and we put it and says directly as it is, and instead of I we put he, because now we are talking about him. He's not yet talking about himself. Then we complete the sentence as it is in the same tense. Here we have that at the end of the sentence, that day, that and this and today. We'll come to them later on in the table diagram later on. Here we have the rule. We use the reporting verb like say, tell, claim, state, whatever. But if this verb is in the present tense, here's the rule. Here it is easy. We just put he says or she says or they say or we say or you say, and then the sentence directly in the same tense of the converted speech. Here we have examples. Direct and indirect speech. In the first sentence, in the case of the direct speech, in bracket or in converted commas, we said, I perform an operation, he says. See, the sentence in bracket of the first speaker, the direct speech, is in the present simple. And we have the reporting verb, he says. The introducing verb, he says, in the present simple. So here it is very simple. When we report it, we can say here down, he says, we take he says as it is, Then we add, instead of I, as we said previously, he. Now we are talking about him. He's not yet talking about himself. He performs, because the first sentence was in the present simple, and now we have to continue in the sentence because the reporting verb, he says, is in the present. Okay, he performs an operation. We complete the sentence in the sentence, the first speaker or of the direct speech, and that's it. Here, when the introductory verb is in the past tense, some verbal changes are required. Here is the issue. Here is the question. When the introductory verb, the reporting verb, is in the past, we have talked about the introductory verb in the present. That doesn't make any change in the sentence regarding the tense. So the tense remains the same in direct speech and in the indirect speech, in the reported speech, by the way. But here, when the reporting speech عندما يكون الكلام الغير المباشر or الفعل الغير المنقول أو المقرر به, reporting verb when it is in the past. For example, instead of saying he says or she says or they say, we say he said or they said. It is in the past tense. Here, the sentence in the brackets or in the converted commas inside among the converted commas will be changed in the regard of the following rules of the tenses, based on the tenses. So here, direct speech. First, when it is in the present, when the reported speech, when the direct speech in the present simple. Here, when we report it to the indirect speech, we change it to the past simple. Present continuous can be changed into past continuous. Present perfect to the past perfect. Past simple to past perfect. Past continuous to past perfect continuous. Past perfect to past perfect. Future simple to conditional. Future continuous to conditional continuous. Future perfect to conditional perfect. And conditional to conditional. Here we have some changes as well in the expression of time and place. Okay, here we have some rules that we can change some words. Wording changes. For example, in the direct speech, if the first speaker in the direct speech use the word today, when we report it, when we change it to the indirect speech, we said that day instead of today. Then tonight to that night. Yesterday, the day before, or the previous day. And so on and so forth till we reach the end. Here we can change it to there. They are written in the PPT, down the video clip. Here, some examples for each and every tense to clarify the doubts or to prove the howness of using the reported speech depending on each and every tense or each and every usage of the tense. Present simple, see in the present simple, but here the reporting, remember that please, the reporting verb is in the past. We simply said when the reporting verb is in the present simple, is in the present, when we report the sentence which is in the direct speech to the reporting speech, the sentence remains in the same tense. Whether it is in the present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past, whatever it is. So it remains the same. But when it is, or by means it is here, is that the reporting verb, he said, or she said, or they said, is in the past. When the reporting verb is in the past, here we can follow these rules. In the present simple, I like ice cream, he said. When we report it, we can say, she said she liked ice cream. Here that in brackets. You can use it, or Not. There is no any great sense for that word in this case. But you can use it as you wish. So here only when you change the direct speech to the indirect speech and the reporting verb was in the past, as we said, she said, here we add she liked, because we in the first table we said that when the direct speech is in the present simple, in the reported speech we change it to the past simple. اوكي. هنا نطبق القواعد قاعدة تلو الأخرى. في زمن الماضي المضارع البسيط نحولها إلى الماضي البسيط، المضارع المستمر إلى الماضي المستمر، وهكذا دواليك إلى نهاية تطبيق القواعد. سوف نرى لكل زمن سوف نضع جملة في زمن المتكلم سواء كان في الماضي أو في الحاضر أو في المستقبل، وسوف نرى كيف سوف نحولها إلى الكلام الغير المباشر أو الخطاب الغير المباشر، وذلك باتباع القواعد الزمنية في حالة ما يكون فعل التقرير في الماضي، أي he said or she said. فعل التقرير كان في الماضي نتبع هذه القواعد. أما إذا كان فعل التقرير في الحاضر فلا يوجد أي تغيير نهائيا في الزمن، ولا لهذه القواعد أي صلة بهذا الشيء، إلا في حالة الكلمات wording changes that day, today, that day, here, there, now, then. These are compulsory in both the cases. Okay, then present continuous, we have an example. I'm operating a surgery on the patient. For example, I call the door, hey doctor, please open the door. He'll say to me, I'm busy, I'm operating a surgery on the patient. When I report, for example, to the manager of the hospital or somebody else or any attendant of the patient or his friend, the patient's friend, I can say, the doctor said, or she said, she was operating a surgery on the patient. See, from the present continuous to the past continuous. Present perfect. I haven't seen the scalp nurse. When we reported, she said she hadn't seen the scalp nurse. From present perfect to the past perfect, simple. Okay? Here, there is a rule. It is a repetition, actually, and it says, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, then usually we change the tenses in the reported speech. See the examples. Direct speech, I perform an operation, he said. So, see the difference. Please pay attention. Now we said the same sentence we used previously in the present reporting verb. But here we use the same sentence, I perform an operation, in the past reporting verb. في فعل التقرير في الماضي. He said. بالرغم أن كلامه كان بيتكلم في زمن البسيط، لكن التقرير أتى في زمان الماضي. إذن هنا in the following sentence we can observe, in the following reported speech, we can observe that he said, we take it as it is, embodied, he performed from present simple to the past simple, an operation. Okay. Here, if we can observe, we have also, I brought a syringe, past simple, we change it to the past perfect. Maybe the doctor was asking about the scalp nurse, as we stated earlier. Now, she asked her, where were you? She said, I brought a syringe. I brought a syringe for injection, maybe. And when we report the scalp nurse speech to somebody else, we can say, she said she had brought a syringe. Here we have to take into consideration the irregular verbs, the past participle of the verb bring, brought. Okay, then from the past simple to the past perfect. Past continuous, I was walking along the hospital. When we reported, she said she had been walking along the hospital. From past continuous to past perfect continuous, when we change it into the reported speech. Okay, past perfect. I had taught medical lessons before. When we reported, When we change it to the direct speech, to the indirect speech, we can say, she said she had taught medical lessons before. Okay, so here, past perfect remain past perfect, no change. We'll say later on some rules for some modal verbs, including the past perfect, in which we can change, or we are not in need to change the tense of the sentence from the direct to the indirect speech. And here we observe, I had taught medical lessons before, only we are adding the reporting verb and the reporting pronoun. She said she had taught medical lessons before. So both the sentences are in the past perfect. Okay. Now, also here we have some modal verbs. For example, in future, we have will, we have would, we have can, we have could, we have shall, we have should, and might and must. In the cases taken for granted, past perfect, would, should, could, must, might, these six words or modal verbs, when we use them, or when the direct speech, in these cases, we are not in need to change the tense. Absolutely. Okay. So here the first example is will. I'll see you later. I'll see you tomorrow, for example. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. When we change it, he said he would see me later. So future simple to conditional. Word, conditional. But when it is in the case of word, I would help, but. I would help, but. She said she would help, but. See, here, she said she would help, but. No change at all. There is no change at all. Can, there is a change. We change it to the past. Can is in the present simple. The past will be could. I can speak perfect English. He said he could speak perfect English. Could will remain the same. I could swim when I was 4. He said he could swim when we reported to somebody else. He said he could swim when he was 4. Shall, I shall come later. He said he should. We change it to the conditional. Also, should come later. Should will remain the same. I should call my doctor. She said she should call her doctor. In the direct speech, she said, because the first speaker is talking about himself, is talking about his doctor or her doctor, she said, I should call my doctor. When we change my, if the person is male, it will be his. If it is female, it will be her. So we can notice in the following sentence that she says she should call her doctor. So we change it from my into her. Clear? Okay. Might and must. Might will remain the same, must will remain the same, and there's exceptions, or there's an exception in must. Oh, sorry. I might be late. He said he might be late. Actually, the pronoun will be changed because we are not yet the first speaker. We are talking about the first speaker. The first speaker is not yet talking about himself or herself. So we change it. Instead of I, we use he. He said he might be late. No change at all in the verb. Must. I must study at the weekend. He said he must study at the weekend. So there's no change. But here's an exception. An exception, as we said. He said he had to. Had to can be used in the reported speech instead of must. But simply you can use must. Okay. There is no problem at all in this regard. Here we have reporting or reported questions. But what are these questions? These questions are WH questions. WH questions. How can we report them? How can we change the questions from the direct speech to the indirect speech or to the reported speech? Let us see. The same way regarding the tenses, regarding the reporting verb, whether it is in the present or in the past. If it is in the past, we have understood the rules and regulations. and if it is in the present, it is simply can be reported in the sentence. Okay, here the first example in the direct speech. Where do you study? When we change it to the reported or to the indirect speech, we can say he asked me. So the verb asked. He asked me. It is in the past. He asked me where. The same word we can take it after. He asked me or she asked me or they asked me where I studied. We remove do, does, did. These verbs, verb to do, we can remove it, and directly we can observe in which tense the sentence is structured or used. Then we directly follow the rules that we have already taught you in this video particularly. So here, where I studied, he said, where do you study? Here the question is in the present simple. The reported speech, when we change the sentence or the statement to the or the question to the reported or to the indirect speech, the rule says that present simple, if the reporting verb is in the past, present simple can be changed into past simple. So past simple of the verb study, it will be studied. Okay, where I studied. Because we are telling people what he asked me or what he had asked me. Where do you study? When I reported, he asked me where I studied. Where is your lab coat? He asked me or she asked me. In the questions, use these terms. He asked me, she asked me, they asked me, you asked me. Here he asked me where. We take also the verb WH, question where or keyword, and put it. He asked me where my lab coat was. Because is there, we can put it at the end. Because now it is not yet a question, it becomes statement. But here we have your. Previously we talk about my, and then we change it into her. And sometimes if the speaker is male, we can change it to his doctor, we said. And here your lab coat, and can be changed into my. Where is your lab coat? You can say my lab coat. He asked me where my lab coat was. Okay, you understand even these possessive adjectives. Where are you? What are you doing? The third question. He asked me what I was doing. See, the tense is changed from present continuous to the past continuous. And everything is clear there, as we said previously. What is this patient? Who is this patient? The fourth question. Who is this patient? These are just examples to make clear and fix the ideas for you. What is this patient? Or who is this patient? Who is this patient? For example, any visitor coming to the hospital and you are there as doctors or assistants and ask you, who is this patient? You will say to the doctor or to the manager, he'll ask you, what did the visitor say? You will say, because he asked you the question, who's the patient? Who's this patient? You will tell your manager, he asked me who that patient had been. Who that patient had been. Because here the word this can be changed to that, as we told you previously. And you can follow the rule easily. Another questions, yes or no questions. Yes, no questions. Without what, without when, without where, without who, without which. Okay, here we have another rule. We have a conditional word, if, I, and if. Letters can be used. If, conditional. It means إذا فيما إذا كان على نحو السياق. Do you study pharmacy? When you report it, when you tell somebody what the first person has asked you, you will tell him, he asked me if, see here, keep it in mind that the word if is compulsory in this case. In yes, no questions. Okay, it is the difference between WH questions in the reported speech and yes, no questions in the reported speech. He asked me if I studied pharmacy. For the tense, it remains the same rule as we told you on all the previous examples. Have you ever been to Wuhan? Wuhan is in China actually, but he is asking you whether you visit Wuhan or not. And the question is that, have you ever been to Wuhan? When you report the speech, when you change it to the indirect speech or to the reported speech, you can say, he asked me if I had ever been to Wuhan. We change it from present perfect to the past perfect. Simple. Okay. Are you watching this online class now? Maybe I'm asking you. Right now, I'm asking you. Are you watching this online class now? Yes, of course. And your reporting speech will be like that. When anybody asks you, what did your doctor ask? What is the question of your doctor? You will say, you will change my question to the reported speech, to the indirect speech. You will say, he said, he asked, because it's a question here. I'm so sorry. He asked me if I was watching the online class then. If is there, the verb changes from the present continuous to the past continuous is there. Instead of this online, we said that online class. And instead of now, in the reported speech, we use then. Okay, I think it's clear up to now. Here, rewarded requests. When anybody requests you, please, sir, please help me, please do this and this, please. Okay, so here we have direct, in the first column, direct speech, and the other reported speech. And we can say reported requests. Reported requests. First, we have three statements or three requested questions, if it might be. First, or statement, close the window please, or could you close the window please, or would you mind closing the window please? Would you mind closing the window please? The answer is one, when you report it to the past. He asked me to. Here, pay attention to the preposition to. أن. هو طلب مني أن أغلق النافذة. And here, to. Focus on it, memorize it, and it is the compulsory or the necessary word to use in the reported request. So here, he asked me to close the window. Okay, clear. Please help me. When you tell anybody what that person requested you, he requested you. يعني ترجاك لشيء أو طلب منك شيء وتريد أن تقول للآخرين أو لأبوك أو لأستاذك ماذا طلب منك، ماذا ترجى منك أن تساعده. تقول هو طلب مني المساعدة، طلب مني أن أساعده. هنا he said, please help me in the direct speech. I want to tell somebody else what he has said to me. I'll tell him, he asked me to help him. He asked me to help him. Okay. The other question is in the negative case, please don't smoke here. When we report it, when we change it to the indirect speech, we can say, he asked me not to smoke there. هو طلب مني بأن لا أدخن هناك. Okay. Reported orders. Reported orders. Ordering. أوامر. هنا الفرق ما بين الريكوست والأوردر إن الريكوست هو الرجاء أو التوسال أو الطلب بطريقة مهذبة, more polite way. Order, that you come from the superior to inferior, in the restaurant from client to the waiter or the waitress, something like this. But we prefer this way when there is no this statement or the word or the phrase please. We can follow this way or this rule. Reported orders in the direct speech in the first column, and here in the reported speech or the reported orders, we can say the direct order, sit down. When you tell somebody what he has said to you or what she has said to you, you can tell him or tell them, he told me to sit down. Some grammarians may say that you can say he ordered me to sit down, and it's right, both the ways are correct, but we prefer told. Okay, don't worry, both the ways are correct, as we said. Get out. He told me to. See, pay attention into the preposition to get out. Be on time. He told me to be on time. And the same statement can be followed. Don't come in. He told me not to go in. Here we have slight changes. First, it is in the negative case, so he said don't. So here we use not. After he told me, the reporting statement, then we complete the speech with using not. Then to. Okay, this is in the negative case. Go in. The first statement, in the direct speech, he said, don't come in because you want to come in. To his room, to his flat, to the hall, to the gallery, whatever. He didn't accept you to be in. Okay, so you were going to him. So now, when you report the speech, it's not proper to say, he told me not to come in. No, you were going. But for the person who told you not to come in, you were coming to him. But for you, you were going. So you use the word in your position. He told me not to go on. Okay, clear. If there are any questions, don't hesitate to ask me or contact your delegate or monitor and ask me in WhatsApp. And at any time, I'll answer, and my answer will be in the next lecture. Initially, before I get started, the next lecture, I'll answer all your questions and clear all your doubts. Here we have also an assignment. If you can observe it, here it is your assignment. Assignment means homework, but as far as you are at home, you can say assignment. It's proper. No worry, whatever. Set 2 or 3 or more examples in every example I have given. I have set or given examples, many examples, and 2-3 examples at least for each row. For each and every example, in each and every tense, you have to give 2-3 examples as assignment for practice. And please read. I want you to read these statements because they are very important. In the first statement, it is that, if you can observe it now, right now, fact in the present can act. Fact in the present can act. Actually, in the reported speech, when you are reporting facts, because if I inform you that the earth is round, and you want to report my speech, you want to tell others what I have said, you say, our doctor told us that the earth is round. Even if you said he said or she said, it doesn't matter, because the facts can remain the same without any changes in the present simple. اوكي، الحقائق طبعا حتى عندما ننقلها من الكلام المباشر الى الكلام الغير المباشر تبقى كما هي في زمن المضارع. اوكي. The next statement, watch it till you catch it. These are just advice. Watch it till you catch it. It means watch 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times till you understand it. Don't watch it once or 2 times, twice. Then say, okay, I feel bored, I can understand, or it is enough to watch it 2 times. No. Watch it till you catch it. Watch it 2, 3, 4 times, even 20 times, till you understand it well, till you realize perfectly, till you perceive it well. Okay, so it is audiovisual aid, and the audiovisual aid is a very perfect technique to watch it again and again. If we are in the class, I'll teach you once. If you forget, that is your own responsibility. But now you can watch it again and again. Okay, so there is no any excuse for anybody. Watch it even 10 times. And if you have any doubts or question, you can send it to me directly or send it to your monitor, and they will contact me to clear your doubts and to answer questions. And it will be, as we said, in the next video or in the next lecture, the answers. Here, watch it thrice at least and take notes. So try to write down. احنا كما قلنا وكما دوما أنصح طلابي بأنهم ماذا؟ العلم صيد والكتابة كيده. إذا كتبت وقف الفيديو واكتب الجملة وطبقها وأعيد وكرر وانت بتكتب. إذا كتبت رسخت المعلومة لديك وما تنساهاش بسهولة. Okay, then the last statement, take it fresh to nourish. Take it fresh to nourish means if we follow the lectures, lecture by lecture or class by class, we will understand them well, and it will be simple for us to follow them all during or throughout the semester. But if we neglect them till the end of the semester, then at that time you watch them all, that will be hush-push watching and no understandability. And please take these advices into considerations and follow the lectures, write down, ask questions, and we hope you a good time studying, hitting the box. And thank you very much for paying attention, and hope you write down the assignments